A guy in Texas pays 25 grand for whole home backup. August, 104 degrees, grid drops. 90 minutes later, he's sitting in the dark, sweating, with a dead battery and a system that did exactly what it was designed to do. He didn't get scammed. He didn't get a bad install. He got a word. Because whole home backup doesn't mean your whole home stays on. It's a wiring term. And the gap between what it sounds like and what it does is the #1 reason people feel burned after their first real outage. So in 3 minutes, you'd know what's actually going on and the question that would have saved that guy $25,000. Okay, so whole home backup means every circuit has access to power. Has access to, not will receive. That's the whole thing. That's the entire misunderstanding right there. You're not buying capacity, you're buying a connection. Nobody's promising your house can actually carry what's plugged into it. They're promising the electrons can find their way there. You already know a Powerwall holds 13.5 kilowatt hours, so let's use it. Essentials, fridge, lights, Wi-Fi, you're pulling maybe half a kilowatt, that's 27 hours, fine. But what about a time in August in Texas? Central AC pulling 4 kilowatts on its own, oven, dryer, EV on the charger. Before you know it, you're at 7+ kilowatts. Now divide those 7 kilowatts by 13.5 of one Powerwall, and you get only 90 minutes. Same battery, same whole home wiring. The wiring didn't fail him, it just didn't stop him. Whole home backup doesn't run your whole home. It removes the guardrail that would have made your battery last. So whole home only means what you think it means when it's paired with enough storage and enough inverter output to actually feed those loads, which is multiple batteries and a much bigger number. Anybody quoting you whole home on a single Powerwall is selling you a label. Now, partial backup. And I know what you're thinking. Partial's the compromise, right? The budget option. Except partial has one flaw that has nothing to do with money. You have to guess. Sitting in a calm room, months before anything happens, you pick circuits. Fridge, lights, router, sump pump. Reasonable, sensible. And then August happens, and what you actually wanted was the AC, which was never going in that sub panel anyway, because 4 kilowatts would have eaten the battery alive. That's the trap. You don't experience an outage as critical versus non-critical loads. You experience it as your house getting hot. And the thing you'd have paid anything for is usually the exact thing the design can't support. So here's the actual point. Stop asking partial or whole home. That's a wiring question. That's the installer's problem, not yours. Ask this. During a real outage, what do I want to still be able to do and for how long? Because that question has an actual answer and the configuration falls out of it. Want the food cold and the lights on to ride out a storm? Partial isn't a compromise. It's correct. It's cheaper and it'll run a full day instead of 90 minutes. Want the AC running in August for 3 days? Then you need whole home and the storage to mean it. And you need to hear that number before you sign, not after. And if you've got solar, that math changes again. Panels refill the tank during daylight, and a countdown timer turns into something that keeps topping itself up. That's the conversation worth having up front. Free consultation with us. We start from what you actually run, what you genuinely miss, and how long your outages last. Then we tell you which setup serves it, including when the cheaper one is the better one. Links in the description, because nobody's trying to buy whole home backup. You're trying to keep your house livable when the street goes dark.